Hey friends, it's Michelle. Welcome back to the channel. So this week I have a lot of fun doll projects and news and everything going on. So I thought we could just hang out in my office, in my little studio, and we could experience those things together. So to start you off, I'm making an outfit for my doll Morgan for AG Run Fair. So I designed the pattern, I'm sewing everything by hand. Also, I ordered some handmade clothes from Etsy for the dolls. I ordered them for very specific dolls, so we can open up that together. I have a new doll, new to me, arriving in the mail from one of my friends over on AGIG who is downsizing their collection. And then lastly, I received my first PR. Of course it's doll PR, because what else would it be? So I thought we could open that together. And that's what we're going to be doing this week. So let's get to it. Firstly, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who voted on Instagram and in the YouTube community tab for the different fabric options for this corset. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I was planning to go with the other fabric until everyone just kept voting A. So we went with A, and you guys were correct, so thank you. So a couple weeks ago, I used that cling wrap and masking tape method to make a very simple pattern of the American Girl torso so that I can use that as a point of reference for making more complicated designs and more complicated patterns. So that's what I was working from initially to start on this corset. And then I used the Empire waist Regency dress pattern as another point of reference for essentially like how wide I wanted the sleeves, how low I wanted the neckline to be, etc. So at this point, I'm no longer having to go back and use the cellophane and use the masking tape to make the patterns. I'm just working from my existing patterns and then just altering those here and there to get the correct shapes. I enjoyed working with this fabric a lot. I've found that the type of fabric that you work on really can deeply affect how much you enjoy a project. When I made the Regency era dress out of that very slippery fabric, it was not fun, but working with these cotton like quilting materials is so much easier and the construction is really, really solid. So I highly recommend to anyone who is beginning their sewing and garment making journey, please use a very sewer friendly fabric because it can make all the difference in the quality of your project, but also how much you end up enjoying the process. I sew everything by hand because I am extremely sound sensitive. I know it'd be a lot easier if I would just use a sewing machine, but this is something that I do, not just for the channel, but for myself. I don't want I don't want to turn the things that I enjoy into sensory nightmares and then like burn myself out of those activities so that I no longer want to do them. So anyway, I sew by hand. It might seem torturous, but it gets the job done and I really enjoy it. I constructed the pattern and everything for Morgan's peasant skirt off camera. One of my favorite things to do is actually take a sewing project downstairs and then sit and listen to a podcast or a video essay while I sew because then it's like doubly relaxing. I'm getting in a physical, craft activity, and that's really satisfying for my brain. But then I'm also learning something at the same time, listening to the podcast or to the video essay. So that's, for me, that's like a dream come true. That's the kind of thing that I always used to do in high school is I would listen to like Dateline or something like that, or a documentary, and then I'd be sewing. At that point, I was making things for myself, or I'd maybe make like duffel bags and things like that. I would just use whatever scrap fabric I came across and just make something because that was really satisfying to me to have unique things. And now I like getting to do that for the dolls. So normally I was sewing accessories like purses or duffel bags or little wrist cuffs, things like that. Really non-consequential projects. It wasn't like I was making myself a dress. It's been a lot of fun to return to this discipline, but learn so much new information. So to be able to lace up the front of her garment properly, I actually just sewed on some little jump rings that were part of a jewelry kit that I got from the dollar store last year. I sewed them on at 2 points and then used a pin in the end of the ribbon to guide it through those jump rings, and it worked perfectly. I'd like to get an eyelet plier at some point, but I need to have more projects planned to actually justify that purchase. And also, I want to be really careful that I get the right one. So I want to confer with some people on that first before making a purchase. And here's how Morgan was looking by the end of, this was day 2 of this project. So I was very happy with, how the fabrics went together, the construction of the corset and everything. So yeah, this was very exciting. So the next morning, I got to work on a flower crown for Miss Morgan. I used the lid of a Folgers coffee can and then just cut the edge of that off to make the base. I then gessoed that so I'd have a nice white base, and then cut up these little flowers that I got from the dollar store last year and glued those on, and we had a flower crown. I was very pleased with this. I went ahead then and hot glued on some little ribbons to the very back so that I could tie it on and have a little extra adornment in her hair. And yeah, I was super pleased with it. By the way, editing me popping in to say, this just happened. What are your thoughts on Daisy Davenport? I have to say I'm not the least bit surprised. This is what I was talking about over in this video, where everyone was basically freaking out that the 14-inch dolls, oh, this is all American Girl is doing for the 40th anniversary. And I'm like, no, there's plenty more coming. We've seen the things come out, and I had said that I figured the doll for 2027 would probably also be like a nostalgic release, would be some kind of a big release, because she will be released within the year of the 40th anniversary celebration. So again, I'm not surprised at all by any of this, but I would love to know what your thoughts are. I was really happy to see the amount of diversity and representation on the book's cover, so I thought that was really cool. I did think it was interesting that they mentioned her best friend specifically, which made me wonder if we might be getting a best friend doll, because American Girl does know that a lot of collectors have been clamoring for that the last several years. So I think that isn't outside the realm of possibility. They didn't give the character a full name, which is the only thing that makes me think that maybe we're not. But again, I wouldn't be all that surprised if we got a best friend doll for 2027. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and let's get back to the crafting and doll things. I got baby's first PR. So I got a PR package from WONDOLL for review, and then I also made an order from Etsy, and I thought we could go ahead and compare WONDOLL and the Etsy purchase. I want to say thank you to WONDOLL for sending me these items for the purpose of review. I did open one of the dresses, and I did have to contact WONDOLL about that because there was already an issue, but let's get into everything. So that works well. And then it has a little handle on the side that just broke. Okay, that was... I can't recommend this for a child because that's a choking hazard. I wanted this to be, oh, it's not collector quality, but you can get it for a kid. You can't even get this for a kid. It's so unsafe. So I had to scrap this whole review because there were so many safety and regulatory issues with these products. I went ahead and contacted the rep I'd been working with at WONDOLL, and we had about a 2 or 3 hour discussion about these issues, and now it sounds like they're going to be revamping the line. So if the company is true to their word and they address all of these issues and send me the updated products, then we will go ahead and review WONDOLL. So this lovely package is from an Etsy seller. I'll put their tag right over here and their little store name and everything. And I believe that the sale was being done as part of a fundraiser for a local theater group. I'm serious. I didn't realize that I entered a contest. I thought I was just participating in like a community thing, but long story short is I ended up winning a discount code to the shop for this little thing that I did on Instagram. And like I said, it went to benefit a theater group, and I love musical theater. I love going to the theater. I grew up going to the theater all the time with my parents, so I wanted to be able to help with that. So anyway, we'll go ahead and open this. Presentation. Lovely. That's what's so funny about this. I picked up these packages from my P.O. box at the same time. This one had 6 dresses. This has 2. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. All right, so we have a little wax seal on the envelope. Very cute. I like the attention to detail. And they did not ask me to open this on camera. I just said that I would because if I can help out a small business, I want to help out a small business. Very cute card. Has little butterflies on it. Okay. Very cute. I'm gonna have to hang it up somewhere. Thank you. At this. Wow. Fancy. I don't know what's in here. Like cut this at the top because I'd love to save this paper if I can. Oh, stop it. Oh, that's so cute. They made me a little apron that has the name of the event that I took part in as part of the fundraiser. That's so cute. Look, it has little pockets and everything. I've been wanting to make a doll apron, and now I have a handmade one. Yay! That's so cute. And I didn't order that. They just gave it to me. How sweet. Thank you. All right, so here's the first one. I honestly, like, I remember one of the dresses. I don't remember the other one. I was a little distracted when I was ordering. Look how pretty this paper is. And they even have personalized little stickers to seal. Very, very, very cute. 11 out of 10 for presentation. I forgot about this. This is the one I forgot about. Okay, so this little jumper, I just thought this was so adorable. Look at that. And they used snap buttons. Very good. I like using snap buttons too. Super cute. It's ruched up here, and then it has the lace detailing. Very, very, very nice. I love these colors. I think that's super cute. This is the one I remembered. I love this one. I got this for Penelope. Penelope is my favorite doll. Like ever, in any collection ever. Oh, this is so, it's all lined on the inside of the bodice, and then it has 2 little buttons here. Let's see. There we go. Opens like that. This is just darling. Penelope does not have like a summer dress or anything. She's not really a dressy girl, but I thought it'd be cute to put her in a dress. And it has like this really interesting, almost like slightly aged patina to it, to the fabric. It's very, very nice. I love it. There we go. Okay, thank you, Thistledown Meadow. I love the pieces. I love the little bonus apron. Very cute. Okay, friends, so I promised you a new doll. However, the doll that I was going to show you didn't arrive. However, I did get a new doll. My dad got me a new doll for my birthday a few months ago. It was while I was on my filming and editing break when I had my injury. But anyway, she hasn't been introduced to the channel yet, and I'm very excited about her. It's Miss Sage Copeland. So I'm very excited to have Sage in my collection now. I love that she has this little head tilt. It's just adorable. I didn't have to do anything to fix her up because she had actually been a visual at one of the now defunct American Girl places. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of the defunct ones. So anyway, I now have my very own Sage. She came with her hair still in the factory setting and everything. She came with her meat outfit, and she has her little ears pierced again because she was a visual at one of the stores. But yeah, I just love her. I identify with her a lot as a character, and I think maybe that'll be something that we talk about more in a future video when we like go over her collection and things like that. But yeah, I think this outfit is absolutely adorable on her. So precious, so stinking cute, and I've had her hair up in these little clips for a while now. So yeah, I used Melody's shoes from her salon set, And then of course, this is the new romper from Thistledown Meadow. So again, great handiwork. I will link their Instagram and everything in the description of the video. So yeah, so here's the first outfit on Miss Sage Copeland, who is my newest doll to date. Yeah, she's adorable. I love her. I love another curly. Well, I guess she's wavy, but it's close enough to curly. We still have the same problems. We still have the same hair struggles. Miss Penelope. Penelope is my Sapphire Splendor doll. She is my absolute favorite doll in my entire collection, any collection ever. Like, she's just number one. I love her so much. When I first saw her on her announcement day, my husband told me, you have to get her. She's the most you doll I've ever seen. So that's why I have her, because he insisted. So yeah, I love her very much. And now she has her own little like spring summer dress, and I think it looks so cute on her. I very rarely dress her in much teal. I like to put her in complementary colors rather than keeping things like monochromatic, which is why, part of why I took her out of her meet outfit almost as soon as I got her. But yeah, I think that this has like just enough of the teal that it's complementary, but we still have like some more visual interests. It's not too monochromatic. I think this is very, very, very cute for her. So yeah, I love her very much. She's adorable. You never see her on the channel because she lives in my bedroom. She does not live in my office. She lives in my bedroom. Miss Penelope, all dressed up for summer. The doll sewing is probably going to show up on the channel quite a bit more now. I asked you folks over on Instagram if you would be interested in me putting some doll clothes in my Etsy shop, and there was a sizable number of people who said yes, that they would be interested in that. So thank you for the support. Art and engaging with my hobbies through art and through creation has always been my favorite thing to do. So that being said, I'm so happy to have finally figured out how to sew for my dolls, because this unlocks so many possibilities for me. It unlocks a ton of possibilities for the channel. I'm not particularly talented when it comes to these things. I just basically sit myself down and decide I'm going to learn how to do something. Because of how my brain works with all of my neurodivergence, to include my dyslexia, I do have to teach myself things in a way that works for my brain. I usually have to take like a roundabout way to get to things, but I just make the decision to do it. So anyway, all that to be said. Editing me one more time. Basically, all I was trying to say is that if I can teach myself how to do this stuff, you guys can learn too. So there's nothing special about me. I just make the decision to learn how to do the thing that I want to learn how to do. And that's kind of it. I feel like that is a lot of creation. And I really want to promote people creating for themselves, because I think that's a lot of why generative AI is so popular right now, is because people feel like creation is so far away. They feel like creating things for themselves just isn't a possibility, when it 100% is. You just really have to make the decision to sit down and learn how to do what you want to do. There are absolutely some things that we can't do for whatever physical or medical, financial reasons, but most people, the large majority of people, can in some way engage with the act of creation. So that's it. I just want you guys to get to make art. That's all. Okay, back to me. Here is the prom dress that I made for Lainey a couple weeks ago for AG prom. And yeah, I'm just really excited by this. I love apple green. This is, I believe, a vintage fabric. I got it in a scrap heap at a craft store. So yeah, I'm very excited. Let me know if you want me to put this design in the shop. I do have extra fabric for this in particular. So if you want me to put this in the shop, let me know. Just put it in the comments. Or you can always message me over on Instagram if you have a request. So yeah, I'm just really happy with this. I still have to wash out the tailor marker. I was in a hurry to get this done because the same day, basically I found out about AG prom the day before it was happening. So I did this in under a day, and the day it was going on, we were going out of state. So I had a very tight schedule to get this done. So when I blocked the photos, I just made sure that Lainey's hair was covering the marker because I didn't have any time to like wash out the tailor marker and then let it dry. So anyway, there's the dress. I'm very pleased with it. I also made the little necklace. I need to get more of these beads. So Miss Morgan, all ready for the Ren Fair. So thank you again to everyone who voted on the fabric for this. That was super helpful. I really appreciated it. I was actually leaning towards the other fabric, and then you guys all made a really great argument for this one, both on Instagram and on YouTube. So I really appreciate the feedback. I want to do more of that, like getting your input on the designs as I'm working on them. So if you guys are interested, just please keep up with the community tab. Also, you'll notice that I'm going back to uploading on Saturdays rather than Fridays. Fridays, it turns out no one's online. I was doing it because, hey, if I upload on Friday, then I can answer questions, I'm still available, etc. Because I try to keep my weekends for my family. But yeah, but YouTube is not pushing out the videos when they're uploaded on Fridays. So we're going back to Saturday. I will get to comments when I can. Sorry if I'm a little behind, but please post and I will get to them, I promise. But anyway, here's Miss Morgan's final look. I'm very pleased. Oh, her little bow came out, that's fine. But yeah, I just made this out of a coffee lid. I always keep old coffee cans, like I use one as like my little tools for a project. Like when I'm in the middle of a project, I grab a Folgers can and I just throw everything in there that I know that I need for that project. And then I can put everything back where it normally goes. And then when I start another project, get everything that I know I'm gonna need as far as tools, throw it in there and start. But here's Miss Morgan's outfit. I really like how the peasant skirt came out. The fabric has this edging on it. I got this from the same scrap heap as Lainey's prom fabric. And yeah, it's just this beautiful, potentially vintage fabric that I landed on. If you want interesting fabrics, go look through the scrap pile, go to thrift stores. You can always deconstruct garments and, you know, pull interesting fabric that way. So yeah, there's a lot of like interesting ways to get cool fabrics to work with for a low price. So anyway, and then the shirt, I believe this is Molly's shirt from her school jumper outfit. I wanted to make a little peasant blouse for her and I just ran out of time. It was a really busy week. You know, sewing by hand just takes a long time. I sew by hand because I am incredibly sound sensitive. So a lot of my hobbies are very quiet. My hobbies are when I get to, you know, decompress and just go into like a monotropic state and focus and get into that flow state and relax. And if I'm, you know, starting and stopping a sewing machine, I am not going to enjoy sewing. I enjoy sewing, I enjoy creating, I enjoy doing all the math that goes along with this and the fiddly little construction, but sewing with the sewing machine is not enjoyable for me. Even if it makes it go faster, I don't care. It's just like torture. So anyway, that aside, here's Morgan's outfit. She borrowed Kirsten's boots because of course she did. And yeah, I'm just very happy with how this turned out. I've never been to a Ren Fair. My friends used to go in high school and it was one of those weird, like looking back on it, it's like one of those weird neurodiverse moments where I don't know if I was invited. I don't know if I was supposed to go along because no one said, Michelle, would you also like to come to this activity that we go to once a year? I don't know if I was ever invited to the Ren Fair, but I've never gone and now I want to because I love medieval literature. Fun fact about me, I'm an Arthurian legends nerd. So anyway, all right. That all being said, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for checking out my first studio vlog. I have a bunch more coming because I have some really exciting American Girl things that I'm working on. Like next week's video is almost done already. And yeah, I'm just super excited. So there's a lot of really fun stuff coming. If you want more tutorials, let me know and I can always work on putting those out. I stopped with the tutorials for the moment because they just weren't being seen. And I don't know if it's because there isn't an interest in the tutorials or again, if it's the problem with the Friday upload. So let me know in the comments if there's something that you want a tutorial on. Let me know. I'm always happy to help. And let me know down in the comments what doll projects you're working on. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.